ครับวันนี้ผมมีเพื่อนชาวบราซิลนะครับ Hi Amanda
Hello
ครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
ครับก็คุณอแมนดาเนี่ยเป็นมือเบสชาวบราซิลนะครับแต่ว่ามาที่ไทยหลายครั้งแล้วนะครับ so you come to Thailand many times right
Many times it's my fourth time
yeah so normally you come for train Muay Thai
Yes I love Muay Thai
and this trip you have played some music gig
Yes I've been playing gigs with a bunch of full-time musicians and be enjoying the Thai music scene and I love Bangkok I love hearing musicians and listening to new music and it's been awesome yeah
ก็คุณอแมนดาเป็นมือเบสเล่นเบสอาชีพอยู่ที่นิวยอร์กนะครับ As you're from Brazil when I heard the word Brazil there's two things coming up to my mind first is football the second thing is like Brazilian music Brazilian jazz and also the Latin music so I think it should be very good to hear about the story of Latin music from a Brazilian girl could you tell me a little bit about Brazilian music Latin music history
So Brazilian music originated with the fusion of European classical music and the music, the percussion elements of the parties that were done by the slaves.
So like you talk about like a few hundred years ago when the colonization from Europe and colonized Latin America.
So the Portuguese arrived in Brazil in 1500, but they really started colonizing Brazil around 1700.
Okay.
And the slavery was not abolished until 1900. So during those periods, they brought the slaves mostly from where today is Angola and Nigeria. And back then, they weren't as strict as other colonizers. So they would tell the slaves, look, you have to work for us for free for like 16 hours a day, otherwise we're going to kill you. But at night, you guys can hang out and you can eat our leftover food. That's why nowadays it's very interesting. Our most famous dish was created by the leftover foods from the Portuguese, right? So they would just gather together the slaves outside the farms that they used to work for and then just eat the leftover food, dance and clap rhythms together. The rhythms that they brought mostly from Angola and Nigeria. So they would just be eating food, dancing like stuff like that, right?
So do they have time for sleep?
Probably not. We don't know. We don't know.
Okay.
They probably weren't very productive during the day, but it's okay because they were working for free anyway. Who wants to be productive? Not getting paid,
right.
So, long story short, in the mid 1800s, this Portuguese lady, she was the daughter of a middle class Portuguese expat, right, that was doing business in Brazil, was married in an arranged marriage setting to this very rich official member of the brand new Brazilian military. Very rich Portuguese guy. Back then it was supposed to be a good thing. Okay, we're marrying you to like one of the richest guys ever. It's going to be good for the society. And she was like, I don't remember, she was like 14 or 15, something like that. She was an obsessed piano player. She was obsessed with like Chopin and playing Beethoven and back in those days, women had absolutely no rights. They weren't allowed to vote or to go to school or anything. However, it was cool to have your daughter learn how to play piano so she could entertain the salon parties of the rich Portuguese people. So they taught her that so it would look cool that, oh, my daughter plays piano. She absolutely fell in love with the piano and all she wanted to do was play piano. Once she married the guy, they married her with the guy. The guy was like 20 years older than her. And he was like, you're not playing piano. You're going to be my wife. You're going to have my kids and you're going to do
take
whatever.
Care of the kids.
After a while, she couldn't stand the situation. So she was the very first woman in Brazil that asked for a divorce. That had never ever happened before. Her family said, look, if you divorce or separate this guy, we're gonna eliminate you from the family.
You mean like her own family, right?
Yeah. Like her dad, her father, her mother, they were like, we're dishonoring you. You don't exist to us. She ended up separating him, was dishonored from her family, was not allowed to find a job, had no financial support from anybody. But the slaves came to her and said, look, the whole society treats us horrible. Who are we to judge you by being a woman that abandoned your husband? Come hang with us. So she was hanging with them. They were supporting her. They were giving her food. They were helping her take care of the kids. And at night, she was joining those parties. So as a piano player, she started listening to what they were doing and writing songs that were mixing classical melodies, classical music melodies, like Bach-inspired stuff, with those rhythms. That was the beginning of Brazilian music. They created a new music style called choro, which means to cry. And one of her compositions became so popular by people singing and playing in the streets that she became the first hit songwriter in the history of Latin America. And back then there were no records or anything, so people would just buy her charts. And she became super famous and she actually became rich as a composer. And because her songs were so cool, both the white Portuguese people and the slaves were playing them. And that was the beginning of Brazilian music, which is a fusion of classical European music with the rhythms of the slaves.
Oh, okay. As Brazil is a very big country, does the music from each part of the country different?
Very different. So in the Northeast, in the coastal line of the Northeast, which is very African-based, you have a bunch of different like rhythms and styles that are very percussion-based, very like African. Like so, I would play gigs sometimes with like in that style there was a drummer and 5 or 6 percussionists. And a lot of dance and African-based dance. But if you go into the interior part of the Northeast, where it's like very dry and it never rains and people are very poor and it's not very slave influenced, then you got music called forró, which is accordion. They might have a bass and a triangle and a agogô. Forró is considered like the Brazilian blues. It's supposed to be danced by a couple, so all the rhythms are based on that. But the lyrics are really sad. They're kind of blues-based, you know. Whereas the other stuff from the coast is more like people just dancing African style on their own. And then in São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, you have samba.
Samba, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the carnival music.
Yes, and it's very different from the other stuff. And in the south, you have music influenced by the border with Argentina, so you have a lot of gaucho things, a lot of Argentinian and Paraguayan rhythms that influence their music. And then in the middle of Brazil, you have like Brazilian country music, and in the Amazon, they have the whole
like ethnic music.
Indigenous style things. They're very different. The
most famous Latin music to all over is like, I think to me it's like samba and bossa nova, right?
Really? I thought it was like salsa. The Cuban stuff was more famous, but that's
but in Thailand, you know, bossa nova is very popular.
Because of jazz.
Yeah, because of jazz, and so like 10 years ago, if someone wants to make like easy listening album, they're gonna do it in bossa nova. They keep, play it on like coffee shop like this, and also the spa stuff. Could you talk more about like bossa nova and the samba?
Yeah, bossa nova is a music style that came from samba. So samba is actually an evolution of the choro, that original initial music style that was created by Chiquinha Gonzaga. So choro is like kind of Bach-inspired melodies, like very difficult to play on the saxophone or on the flute or on the mandolin. I like to play those melodies on the bass myself. But samba, like the melodies are easier, but the rhythm is more syncopated. So in the 50s in Brazil, members of the high society that were highly cultured and educated and had access to jazz records, they were really interested in learning jazz, but they were in a new wave and generation of saying, yes, we are rich, but we want to go to the slums, to the favelas, and learn from the samba musicians. Because before that, there had always been a disparity in Brazil. If you're rich, you don't hang with the poor people, you don't listen to their music, it's separate. So these guys started to say, I want to practice jazz during the day, but then I want to go at night to the samba parties. And they started to mix it up. Other members of the high rich society had incredible apartments in Rio de Janeiro, and it would be like, I'm having all these parties, come and hang, play, let's write songs together. So that's how Antonio Carlos Jobim, Roberto Menescal, all the bossa nova composers, they were interested in jazz and in the traditional music of the poor people, which was samba. And because of the support of these other wealthy people that just wanted to have parties and say, I'll just pay you to hang out and write songs, they started writing those songs. Then years later, Frank Sinatra, Stan Getz actually, fell in love with the music because he was playing a gig in Brazil and decided to record that album with João Gilberto and Bebel Gilberto. And the style became popular. However, it really became popular to the world level when Frank Sinatra came to Rio de Janeiro and invited Antonio Carlos Jobim to go to New York and record his songs. And as of today, there's still the bar in Rio de Janeiro. You can go where Antonio Carlos Jobim and Vinicius de Moraes wrote the Girl from Ipanema song. And there's a picture of him hanging with Frank Sinatra at that place.
Yeah, I think interesting also happened in Thailand. I think it's that period when Frank Sinatra and Jobim did the record together and it's spread all over the world. Thailand culture also absorbed a lot of that. Because in the past, in Thai, there's Thai traditional music. You may listen a little bit when you train Muay Thai, right? It's like a kind of like ceremony music, something like that. We have a band called Suntaraporn. It's like kind of like a Thai musician who try to play the Western music. And there's a lot of like Latin stuff in their music. And I think there's the first popular music in Thailand, Western music popular. I don't know why, but Thailand absorbed a lot of like, Latin music more than American country music to me.
I think that Brazilian rhythms, they're very like, how can I say, they're like Italian food. You know what I mean? Like you can't go wrong with Italian food. Italian food, the way the taste and the culinary was developed in Italy, anywhere in the world that you go, you know that if you say, do you like Italian food? Like everybody's gonna like it. Right? Whereas like certain other culinaries, even like Brazilian food, not everybody's gonna like it because it has a very specific taste, right? But Brazilian music feels to me like Italian food. Anywhere in the world that you go,
you can find
the groove feels good to people's ears. Just like Italian food feels good to people's palate. Doesn't matter where they're from. If you want to get into Brazilian music, try to listen to like the real people that are playing the simple two-chord things, but the groove is very deep. I think what happens a lot, and I say this in America at college settings, right? You go to music school in America and you want to learn Brazilian music, and the teacher is going to bring you this really difficult jazzy stuff. Which is fine because they want to justify that you're in an academic environment, but I feel like, what's the point in you trying to play like How Insensitive or Corcovados or songs with so many chords if you cannot make the thing feel good with one chord? So instead of like trying to learn bossa nova where the harmony is very complex, try to listen to simple samba recordings with few chords where you're not focusing so much on I need to nail the chord changes, but I need to make the groove feel good.
Like feel live, alive.
Like if I wanted to learn how to play straight ahead jazz, I would never start with giant steps.
It's too complicated.
I would start with the old school Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington thing. Understand the swing feel. Understand how to make people dance with simple chords. And once you make that feel good, then evolve into Brazilian jazz and bossa nova.
So the word Brazilian jazz is like for a jazz music with the Brazilian rhythm, right?
Yes.
So is samba a Brazilian jazz?
you can play a song in a samba beat, and that's gonna make it Brazilian jazz.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But if it's an instrumental melody, if people are taking solos, then it already makes it jazz.
Yeah.
Right?
If you have a time, I want to be like, have guitar in my hand and let you have a bass in your hand, and I can learn some,
Absolutely.
Brazilian groove from you.
I would love to show it to you.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you for
joining
having me.
Yeah.
ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you.
ก็คุณธรรมดาก็น่าจะมาไทยเลย so you gonna come to Thailand in the future, right?
As many times as I can. It's my favorite place in the world. I love it.
So
Yes.
if the audience want to get in touch with you, where they can follow you,
You
Instagram?
can follow me on Instagram, bassist Amanda Ruzza.
Yeah.
Or on the Facebook, I have a Facebook fan page, Amanda Ruzza Music.
Yeah, I will put the link under the
But
description.
everything comes down to my website,
Yeah.
www.amandaruzza.com.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
สวัสดีครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ